Forgiveness, gateway to an abundant life. So if you're doing all the things, you think you're in the flow, you're loving, you're giving, you're doing all sorts of things, and life still is not giving you what you think it should give you, my question for myself is, what am I holding on to that I need to let go of? Where am I blocking the flow? We talked last week about being ready to receive, that God doesn't block the flow. That would be me. And one of the ways that we block the flow is by holding on to grudges, is by holding on to our righteousness, by being more married to being right than to being happy, by living a life where we're constantly trying to prove by our rightness that we are worthy. And some of the ways that we do that are so harmful. I have to be, if I'm right, then I often have to make myself the victim of someone else who is wrong. So finding a way to let go of that which I'm holding on to that doesn't do anything to the person that I'm holding the grudge against, right? They have no idea. They are going blissfully on with life. They don't care how you feel about what they did. And yet when I'm holding on to it, it is hurting me. It's hurting me physically. It's hurting me psychologically. It's hurting me spiritually. It's blocking me from my good. So why do we forgive? That's why. Because when we don't forgive, we're holding on. It's like taking, it's been said, poison every day and waiting for the other person to die. It's like getting the jailer's key and locking yourself in the prison while they go around doing whatever. Yeah, that's what we do when we're unable or unwilling to forgive. And unwilling is the first thing. You got to address that. Because unable, well, it's hard. We're going to talk about some ways to do that. But it poisons us. It leaves us living in our rage, in our anger. It gives us health problems. It gives us all kinds of isms. I would say that almost every addiction there is, if not every one, is in some way related to that which we are holding on to, that we're trying to fix in some outer way rather than doing the inner work that Emily Cady talked about. Besides those negative things that it does, it sets us apart from our divine selves, right? When you are in your anger, when you are in your righteousness, when we are in our judgment, we are cutting ourselves off from that part of us that recognizes, I'm divine. What on earth could the divine need to hold a grudge about? Think about that for a minute. There is that part of you that already has everything, that is already beloved beyond measure, that is already right, and doesn't need to prove a thing. And when we begin to let go of those things that we're holding on to that hold us back, then we begin to live into our divinity. It's there, it's always there, but if you're not living it, it's not doing you that much good. So living into our divinity, because otherwise we are giving our personal power to another human being and saying, do with me what you will. I'm giving you all my emotions. You tell me how to feel today. Do you ever do that? Do you ever watch the news and go, I'm letting you and you and you and you and you tell me how to feel today? Even the commercials are driving me crazy now. I'm trying to let them tell me how to feel. And I have to be constantly vigilant. Like, no, I want to feel how I feel from in here. I don't want to feel how I feel from out there. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. But as a friend of mine used to say, my life drastically improved when I finally gave up having a better past. You think going over that stuff over and over and over is going to change anything? Never. You cannot improve the past. You cannot improve other people. I would add, my life became vastly more peaceful and happier when I realized that other people don't have to act the way I want them to act in order for me to be okay. Now, I'm not saying I never indulge in that fantasy. Ask my husband. And yet, there is that part of me that knows the truth. And when I start trying to direct my energy outward, it gets easier for me year by year as I do my spiritual practice. It gets easier for me to go, okay, that's never going to work. It's never going to work. I can't make someone else be who I need them to be so that I can be okay. But I can learn to be okay regardless of what everybody else is doing. So I want to be clear. When I'm talking about letting go, I'm talking about forgiveness. I'm not talking about denial. I'm not talking about psychological denial, stuffing it down and pretending it doesn't bother you when it really does. I'm not talking about slapping a smile or an affirmation over it and going, I'm great, it's all great, isn't it great? It's great. Because that doesn't work, because your heart knows whether you're telling the truth or not. So, the first thing, and not everybody who teaches you about forgiveness will tell you this, but I believe very strongly that the first thing you have to do in order to forgive someone is to get real about what happened. Not to pretend, oh, it didn't hurt that bad. If it hurt that bad, look at it. Let yourself feel how badly it hurt. Yeah? Let yourself know whatever that innocent part of you that was struck down or that was hurt or that is offended nightly on the news, whatever that part of you is a precious, precious, beloved part of you. And it's okay that it feels hurt. It's also okay for you to go, and I choose not to continue to hurt. The news is off now. I'm still hurting. That person is no longer in my life. Often that person is no longer even alive on this earth, and yet we continue to re-wound ourselves by what other people said and did. Re-wounding ourselves. I had the privilege many years ago in the 90s of, before Don Miguel Ruiz got really famous and he was still an affordable speaker, he came to Unity of Fort Worth and spoke to a fairly small group of us, probably about the size of this room in here, and said these words. These are hard words to hear. I'm warning you. This is one of those disclaimers. Who's raping you now? What that means is, yes, something happened to you. It may have been horrific. It should never have happened. They shouldn't have done it. They were totally wrong to do it. Yet, who's bringing it up over and over again? Who's the one that has control over what you're feeling about it now? Because when you bring it up, when I remember and focus on that memory, which we do that, we're humans, we do that, then I'm continuing to hurt myself over and over again. What happened, and now it's over. I'm not saying it won't take you a while to get over horrific things, but I'm saying you have the choice. Ultimately, we have the choice. So we get real, we bring it into the light. It happened. We let ourselves feel the pain about it, whatever it was, whether it was somebody being short with us this morning, or it was somebody horribly abusing us as a child, or anything in between. It happened, it hurt. Let it hurt. Don't try to not let it hurt, because that just makes you not live on a real plane, and when you're not living on the real plane, then you can't fix anything on the real plane. So get real. I felt this, and I see how it affects me today, and I want something different. There's the thing. There's the willingness. Because if you ask yourself, do I want to let this go? You may often find, no, I do not want to let that go. They were wrong, and it gives me a dopamine hit every time I think about how wrong they are and how right I am by comparison. We are a society that is getting our dopamine hits by anger. Culturally, globally, this is what's happening. Is that where you want your dopamine hit? Is that the addiction that you choose? Ooh, feeling righteously angry used to be my very favorite emotion. When I was 11, I watched Al Pacino in And Justice for All, when he says, "You're out of order, this whole courtroom is out of order." I was like, I want to be a lawyer. Because I loved that feeling. I knew who was wrong. I had a Bible that told me so. And I knew who was right, because I may be doing bad things, but I'm not doing the same thing you are. Now I am allergic to that righteous indignation. I start to feel it, and it actually gives me sort of a physical sensation of sickness, like, oh, this is not leading to any place good. This is not leading to any place good. What would I rather have? There's a question. What would I rather have? Yes, this righteousness gives me an instant hit, but what if I were able to have lasting peace? Would that not be an infinitely better hit than a moment of righteous indignation? So I'm going to invoke Don Miguel Ruiz again. One of his 4 agreements is don't take anything personally. If you did nothing else in the rest of your life but focused your spiritual practice on not taking things personally, I guarantee it would transform your daily life every day. It would transform your relationships. Because the truth is, whatever they do is about them. Right? It's nothing to do with you. It's about them. It may affect you in the moment, but in the end, it's really about them. Emmett Fox says in Find and Use Your Inner Power, don't condemn, I love this, as you cannot get under the other fellow's skin, you cannot possibly know the difficulties he has had to meet, how much temptation or misunderstanding or stupidity within himself he has had to overcome. If wrong has been done, the great law will surely take care of it. Rise up in consciousness and set both yourself and the delinquent free. Forgiveness is the strongest medicine. You don't know why they do what they do. You can guess at it. Sometimes you can even trace. I know a huge day for me, and I was abused by my father, who is an alcoholic. It was hard to live in his household. It did a lot of damage to me. And I've worked on forgiveness forever. And right now, I can honestly say to you, I can think about him, I can talk about him, I can tell stories about him. There is no hook in me. Just doesn't hook me. And part of that, it was a process, but part of that process was one day looking at his mother and going, if I had been raised by that, what would I be like in the world? And then grateful that I was raised by him instead of her. And seeing how very damaged he was by what she did. And how he didn't know he had the choice to let go of that damage. All he knew how to do was act on it. I don't want to be that. I can look at the leaders of our country and see the horrible things they do to other people and be absolutely certain inside myself that I would rather be the other person than be them, than be the perpetrator, than live with that kind of hatred in my body, with that kind of need to constantly prove myself better than another, which always comes from not thinking you're enough. Always. And I can start then to have compassion. And that's what we're talking about. And Jesus said, pay Caesar what is due Caesar and pay God what is due God's. What he meant for that is there's this worldly stuff, and yes, sometimes you have to deal with it. But what's really going on here? Who are you really? Are you just this physical being that's going to go around tit for tatting your whole life and never getting the score even because it just doesn't work that way? Or are you a spiritual being that goes, all of this can hurt. Yes, it affects me. I am wearing a human body right now, and sometimes it is so tight and uncomfortable. But it's not the truth of who I am. It's not the truth of who I am. I choose to be free. I choose to be free. So, responsibility versus blame. We can start to see who has responsibility, and we can stop searching for blame all the time. Whose fault is it? You know, when something doesn't feel good, what's your first thought? Whose fault is this? Who did this to me? Too often these days, it's like, oh, that would be me. Okay. I did this to me. Yeah, they were present. They were doing what they do, but I chose to take it in the way that I chose to take it in, and I'm choosing to hold on to it in the way that I'm holding on to it. I have a choice. So if you get nothing else from today, I'm just telling you, you have a choice. You get to choose. Having some understanding can help you with compassion. Like I said, the day that I looked at my grandmother and went, oh, okay, I have some inkling of how he ended up this way. And whew, I'd rather be me than him. That's a powerful place to get to. I would rather be me than them. And then you get to glory in being this beloved child of God, for lack of a better word, this beloved spirit that is you, that doesn't have to be affected by them at all. And you can begin to really, really believe that. I think some of the truest words that were ever written in the Bible, whether Jesus actually said them or not, I don't know, I don't care, it's a good thing. He said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." They have no idea what they're doing. Y'all, the people who are hurting you right now have no idea what they're doing. Truer words were never spoken. They don't know what they do. So I can bring a little understanding. I can bring some compassion to bear. I can bring to bear this thought. I don't have to know why. All I have to know is what I choose for me. Whew. I used to think that I had to completely understand every nuance of why they were doing what they were doing, and then I could start to be compassionate, and then I could start to set myself free. Today I can go, I have no idea. Bless you. I'm not taking that on. I'm not taking that on. I can do it today when I remember. When I remember. So spiritual practice is a process of remembering, of continuing to remind myself every day. The other thing that Jesus said that was so golden, right? They know not what they do. Very important. Remember that. They don't. Don't take it personally, because they have no idea. Why would you? Father, forgive them. He didn't say, I'm going to forgive them because I know that they don't know what they're doing. He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. He said over and over again, that is the Father within me that does the work. He's not talking about somebody out there, you forgive them. He's saying, my ego can't do it. My ego is set up for tit for tat. That's what it does. It wants to. You throw me an arrow at me, I'm throwing one back at you. I'm throwing two back at you so I can prove to you that you shouldn't be throwing arrows in the first place. This is what our egos do. They're doing their job. They're trying to protect our human bodies. But ego is not who we really are. Father, forgive them. Boy, what if you didn't have to figure it out? What if you didn't have to figure out how to forgive them? Or what they actually meant when they did it, so you could get behind them psychologically, so you could start to have some that's a long process, and it can help. It can help. I've had a lot of therapy, y'all. It can help, but ultimately, I can leave it to God to forgive them. I don't have to do it. Forgive them. They know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing. And yet I know that there's that within me that is greater, that I don't have to figure it out, because it's not part of my thought process. It's part of who I am. God, forgive them, because I can't do it. And so what begins to work for me, which is the thing I have found the most helpful, compassion we talked about, understanding that people don't know what they're doing, not taking things personally, allowing God to do the work. Well, here's the way I allow God to do the work when I can't just instantly go, okay, God, you take it, and feel like it's gone. Because I'm being real. It doesn't always just feel like it's gone. Prayer. Yeah, prayer. Prayer for the person who I feel has wronged me. There is a prayer in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous that goes like this. God, when a person offends me, help me remember that this is a sick person. Help me show them the same tolerance, pity, and patience that I would cheerfully grant a sick friend. Show me how I can be of service. God, save me from being angry. Thy will be done. Really, really beautiful words. Show me, help me. I'm giving them to you. Help me understand that people don't do stuff because they're against me. They do stuff because they're sick. That's just a word for it. So I can not hold a grudge against somebody for being sick. Do you hold a grudge against people for being sick? No, you respond with compassion. But here's the prayer I have chosen. I've used that one, but here's the prayer that I have chosen that I use today when I find that I cannot, even though I've convinced myself that it's right to forgive and I know all these things. Oh, I'm not taking this personally. Yes, I am. Here's what I do. This is almost word for word, my prayer. I pray for the highest good of this person. Every single good thing I want for myself, I now pray for that person to be given from the loving hands of God. Breathe for a minute. And the sneaky thing is this. It's not necessarily, I want to win the lottery, so I want them to win the lottery. That's kind of hard to do. But what would it hurt if we both won the lottery, really? Would it take away from what I won? No, it wouldn't. So it still works on that level. But on this level, what I want peace. So I'm praying for them to have peace, and people who are peaceful don't harm other people. I want to be able to love unconditionally, and so I'm praying that for them. People who are able to love unconditionally don't harm other people. I want compassion for myself. So I'm praying compassion for them. People who have compassion don't harm other people. You get how it works? Every good thing I want for myself, I now pray to be given to them through the hands of God. And I don't have to know how it works. And I don't have to name what the good things are. I know what they are inside me. And something in me loosens at that very moment. Y'all, this is what I also call my NBC News prayer, right? Because I try not to watch the news. I have found that if I need to know it, it will come to me by osmosis. Somebody will tell me. I don't need to subject myself to an hour or an hour and a half of people repeating things that are going to trigger me. But if I ever do watch the news, or if my husband turns it on when I'm in the room, which happens way too often, and I find myself getting caught up, just the political commercials in between the news do it. Find myself getting caught up. I can pray this prayer. I see somebody up there whose agenda I abhor, and go, I pray sincerely from the depths of my soul for this person to receive every good thing I want for myself. I can do that with absolute freedom. There's no part of me that has to hold back on that, because I know what I mean when I do that, and it loosens me. It allows me to let go of that which I am holding on to. I pray for the highest good of this person. Every single good thing I want for myself, I now pray for him to be given from your loving hands. And so I give you this prayer. And I'm going to give you another technique. We've talked about it in here before, but I have found it to be very, very helpful, because part of forgiveness is owning where the responsibility lies. Okay, they did what they did, and the rewounding is happening because of me. Sometimes they may have done what they done in response to what I did. Where's my part? That is a spiritual practice for me. When in any enmity with anybody, I ask myself, what's my part? Sometimes my part is just being present. If you were a child when it happened, your only part was that you were there. There's no blame. Do you understand the difference between blame and responsibility? When you're a child, you have no responsibility, but when you're not a child anymore, then you take responsibility. Sometimes bad things happened, and then I went back for more. Sometimes somebody didn't treat me right, and then I married him and made sure that he didn't treat me like every day for the next 6 years. Not that that really happened. It did. Right? So yeah, he was a bad person. The way he treated me was awful. I volunteered. He did not tell me a lie, and then I married him, and then everything got horrible. It was horrible when we were dating, and I married him anyway, because I thought I could change him. I thought I could make it different. I thought I could change me. And then I finally gave up on thinking. But we do that. We volunteer. Or we We give a tit and expect the other person to not give a tat. If we're not spiritually evolved enough to not do that, then how are they supposed to be when they don't even know that there's a possibility? So we have a responsibility. We get to claim what our responsibility is. And then we get to forgive. So this Ho'oponopono prayer is what I want to teach you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you because love is who I am. I may not feel the love at this moment, but I'm speaking that truth. I'm sorry. That's a hard thing for Unity people. Oh, maybe I should say it differently. It's been said forgivingly. I love you. I forgive you. No, I realize that even if I didn't do anything to you personally, I am part of a system that is creating this every day. Right? You don't like the look of the country? We're all participating in that. You don't have personal blame, but we all share responsibility. So that's what the I'm sorry is. Anything that I do that contributes to this, any thought that I think, any way that I am that contributes to the hurt in the world, I am sorry for it. Please forgive me. I want forgiveness for myself. I want to be released. And thank you. Thank you for your part in my story. Thank you for teaching me what I could learn in no other way. I'm going to sing you a song into this, a song that I wrote many years ago when I said, there is this person in my life and I cannot forgive him. I forgive him and then he does the same thing. And then I forgive him and he does the same thing. And I'd reached the point in my life where I didn't hold grudges, and yet this one person, I just couldn't let go. And I was given this prayer, and I prayed it, and I felt it begin to completely change me. And then a friend of mine said, you should write a song about that. And I said, shut up. And then I did. Let this be part of your meditation. In this moment, I release, I let go, I find peace in this moment. And I'm given the grace to forgive. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. In this moment, no cause to defend, no one against me, nothing to mend. In this moment, I need nothing at all. So I listen and answer the call. I love you. Please forgive me.
Forgive me.
Thank you. I love you.
I love you.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Please forgive me.
Forgive me.
Thank you. In this moment, I release. I let go. I find peace. And so simply by holding the thought of peace, by knowing that our peace is only limited by that which we allow in our consciousness, we begin to experience it because we let go. Our spirit has a desire not to hold on to that which harms. And so we begin to live as we allow others to live however they choose to. And we claim our freedom as we live from the truth of who we are. I am a living embodiment of love. And only I can impede that love. And only I can allow it and support it. And in my heart of hearts, I am sorry, I'm regretful for any energy that I send out into the world that is unlike love. I recognize that every unloving thought and action impedes the flow of unconditional love. And I ask for forgiveness for that because I am a human. I'm going to impede divine love simply by occupying this body sometimes. And yet, am I not here to learn how to not do that? So I can give thanks for my humanness because it teaches me how to let go into my divinity. I love. I feel regret for all of the ways that I don't love and all of the times that I don't love. I know that my very own divine nature forgives that in me. And I'm grateful. I love you. I'm sorry. I allow myself to be forgiven. And I give thanks.